Hey Scott,
Hey Beth.
how was your delineating today? It sounded like you did a lot. That's so great.
Look at the southern part because I think that's where most of the wetland impacts
Okay.
are. The northern part I'll get rerouted to avoid the wetlands. The southern part crosses Southbrook in a couple areas, and so I
Hmm.
don't think there's any real avoiding it. But yeah, it I don't know. I could have spent a lot longer out there. We'll see if it's delineated enough for him to be able to see. It's the riverbank area, and then it has all the associated wetland habitat that adjoins the riverbank. So it's all resource area through there.
Hmm. So do you feel like you're done, or do you want to? I can go out this weekend and take a look. Do you feel like more needs to be done?
I haven't looked at the northern part.
Isn't that where you and I were before?
Yeah, but he's not gonna go through that area that we delineated. He's
Okay.
avoiding that. So he rerouted it, and I think there are a couple areas up there that need to be marked.
Okay.
But So I would say you can walk that and see. I don't think there will be very much. There's one area where there's a little wet. It's wet where it crosses the trail.
Okay.
Um,
I'll
but
I'll take I'll take a look.
the southern, if you wanted to look at the southern part, I didn't want to send them the GPS coordinates and stuff until we kind of, we were all on the same page. And I think having you look at that would be good.
Okay. I'll try and look at all of it this weekend and just review it, and then why don't I open the meeting and we can talk a little bit more about it.
Well, sounds
But
good.
we've got four people. That's good. I don't see Michael, but maybe he'll join us. Um, all right, so it's 7:02 on August 13th, and I'm calling this meeting of the Shutesbury Conservation Commission to order. This meeting's being recorded. Hello, everyone. Um, yeah, so back to what we were saying. So we'll finalize that probably this weekend, and then like you said, you GPS the points, so then um, he could make a map that then we need to actually put a whole notice of intent application together. And
Right.
I know he wants that done pretty quickly so that he can get back to doing his work. So maybe next week, because we could, even before he's done making the map, like you and I could work on getting that application together.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a question on what what we want to do through that lower area on Southbrook. I think he had suggested Washstone, placing it there.
Okay.
And I don't know, we can talk about it. I'm not wild about that, but I can see some advantages in doing that. I could also see some drawbacks too. I think that would have more wetland impact doing that. But
Well, he'll have to show me where he's talking about doing that because I'm not quite sure. I haven't. He sent all those maps, and that, like I said, I just was busy today, and I haven't even looked at all those. I will this weekend when I walk the whole thing,
yeah,
and then we
yeah,
can start working on the application.
yeah. Okay, yeah, we can talk about maybe you can take a look and we can go from there. Depending on when you go out, you just let me know if I'm around. And if I can, I'll pop over. I'm just not sure what my day Saturday is going to look like.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thanks
Yeah,
for going out and doing what you did today.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's see our agenda. Um, So all I have for comments, one is I'm sure you guys saw that our order of conditions for 36 South Laurel got appealed by Tom Seifert. He appealed to DEP, and you guys saw some of that. There were some emails and stuff. There was emails about it. It went to DEP. They did respond that they'd received it and they've now set up a site visit and everybody's welcome. I'm going to try to make it. It's August 24th, which I think is a Monday, and it's at 1 p.m. at 36 South Laurel. So they'll do a site visit, and then they'll just do their review of our decision and everything that all the records that they have, and then they'll get back in touch with us. So if anybody has any questions on that, let me know.
Yeah, I'm curious. Uh, I don't believe I've seen that. Do you have on the list of what email that was sent to?
I think so. Let's see. Let me find it. I can,
Yeah,
because sometimes it just goes to the Concom and I forget to add you because I'm not sure you're on that Concom list. It went, well, I can send it again, but it does say that. So Mateo sent it to the Concom, which is Concom at Shutesbury, but he also sent it to drbobdouglas@gmail.com.
Okay, yeah, that well may have gone there. I see that Mateo's got his hand raised, so that could have slipped by me there. I appreciate it. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, I'm interested to read that. And appeals are always interesting to visit, so I'll try and go along on that.
Yeah, the document's got, everything that Tom submitted as his actual appeal, and he does actually have it all numbered and his comments and stuff like that. So yeah, take a read through.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
We'll see. Sure. The only other thing I have is that through that Amherst grant that has to do with culvert stuff, there's some, I think I sent you guys the flyer for the ice cream in the park that we're doing for outreach. And I just wanted to say that this weekend, on Saturday, the ice cream truck and the table with all the information on stormwater and culverts and stuff will be at Mill River Rec on Saturday at 2 p.m. and then at Kendrick Park at 2 p.m. on Sunday. And I will be there with other folks on the Sunday one. So if anybody wants some free ice cream, it's kind of a good deal. Yeah, I think that's all I had. And so we have the agenda with a lot of things, but Bob, I thought with an unanticipated business, you could tell us a little bit about that GZA report when we get down to that.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, so next is review and vote on the minutes of July 23rd. Does anyone have any changes or comments? All right, I take a motion to approve the minutes of July 23rd.
I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
All right, second?
I'll second.
Great. All right, Fox? Is she there? I see her picture.
Maybe
well,
she's holding very still.
Mayor, you're on mute if you are saying anything. I think she might be having computer issues. Well, we only need 3, right? Is 3 our majority? There's 5 of us, so I think 3 is good. So Douglas,
Aye.
Khan,
Aye.
and Wilson, aye. Mayor, if you're out there, we can't hear you. We can't see you. So keep trying. All right, next we have site visits, which is usually Mayor. I know about some upcoming ones that we have. Oh, there she is. You're back.
I am. I have got one bar, so
yeah, we can
I'm
hear
trying
you.
to go closer.
I'm imagining you climbing up on the roof.
You know, I'm gonna log out and try and join again because I don't have a stable signal. I
Okay.
can't see you guys.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Let's see.
We'll give you a minute.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Now I can see. Okay. I'm just gonna sit out here. Okay.
Lovely. Nice night to be sitting outside.
Exactly. What were you voting on? I missed it.
It was just the minutes. And we have 3 people, so it
Oh,
was
okay.
okay. Did you have
Yes, I
any?
saw them. Okay, that's fine. Nope.
Okay, great. So next is site visits. Did we have any since the last meeting that are, I don't remember. I don't think so. No, but we have a couple coming up. I think Mayor's frozen again. Um, so there's the DEP one that I mentioned on the 24th. There's also 74 Pratt Corner Road, which is Miriam's house. That is the 19th at 4:30. I hope that works for folks. I think Mateo had sent around a text asking if that day works. And then the other one is Peach Orchard, which Scott had been setting up for our annual CR inspection, right, of Peach Orchard, and that's August 26th at 3:30. Which I think, did that get texted around too yet, Scott?
I
Okay.
sent, yeah, I sent it this afternoon. Oh, I don't know if Mark will confirm, but he said he had time both those days, so
Oh, right,
um,
okay.
Wednesday and Friday. So I think we're set for Wednesday at 3:30, the 26th.
Okay. So if Mark says that's okay, can you send something to our group in the text so that people have it,
I did.
because
Yeah,
sometimes
I
I
sent.
look back at the text chains a lot to like see when site visits are
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah. I don't think I texted. I emailed it to the Concom
Oh, you did, okay.
this afternoon.
That's good too. All right, so we have that. We have the first would be the 74 Pratt Corner Road on the 19th, then 2 in the next week. The 24th is the DEP at 36 Laurel Drive, and then the 26th would be Peach Orchard. Oh, hi, Michael.
I thought I had Pratt Corner for the 27th of August at 4:30.
Uh, Mateo, you were setting that one up for 74 Pratt Corner. Did you agree with Miriam and everybody for the 19th?
So the 19th, Miriam said they won't be there. So we're looking at the 24th, 25th, 26th, or 27th.
Oh,
It looks like
And
the
it-
27th is the one that so far the two of you that responded, Mare and Beth, you guys said you could do the 27th.
had it in my calendar.
Okay.
Okay.
But I haven't yet proposed that to the applicant because I was just waiting to hear from more folks.
All right, that's a busy week of inspections, but that's all right. All right, so it's not the 19th. Take that off my calendar. So did you say she had agreed? Sorry, or not for the 27th?
I have not yet presented it to her because I was waiting to see if other commissioners were going to respond about those dates.
Okay. Okay. Can anybody else do the 27th for 74 Pratt Corner Road?
Maybe we can do it if there's just two, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, if nobody else, if that's
Yeah, I'll be up
what
in
works
Maine.
out.
Sorry.
What'd you say?
I'll be up in Maine. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm unsure of my schedule, unfortunately.
Okay, well, if that works for the applicant, the 27th, we'll just do that. We'll just book it just to get it done.
Okay.
And did you say 3:30?
4:30 is what I had originally
Okay,
floated, but it's up to whatever is available for you guys.
okay. Sounds good. So we have 3 visits that week. That's all right. All right. Moving on, land management update. Scott, I know later we'll be talking about a few things that are yours, but
Yeah, I didn't know. So I had maybe the things on my list to talk about. One where you brought up Peach Orchard. So again, the 26th at 3:30 for anyone who can join on that. The other item was we have another CR inspection that we're responsible for at it's like the Poverty Mountain piece, and that's what Charlie Iceman has done for us in the past. I did contact him again. He's available to do it. The cost would be the same as what it was last year, I think 350. And so I wanted to bring that up here and see, I didn't know if I didn't think we needed a vote, but I wasn't sure. So I wanted to raise that here.
yeah, I think on our agenda, number 7 is it should be vote on funding for the conservation restriction monitoring because I
Oh,
think it's more than one, right? Aren't there a few that you're trying to set up right now?
yeah. Well, I think that's the only one we pay for currently, and then we haven't done the brand new one. We haven't um, monitored that one yet. I don't know if we need to do that one this year. We walked it all with the applicant when they were uh, building their the layout of their wattle that they had laid out. So I didn't know if we needed to do that one again. I don't. The other ones Kestrel does for us. The other
For free.
property, the farm, yeah. So I think we have them all lined up. I think the only one we had to pay for would be this one, but it sounds like it's you want to talk about that later on the agenda.
No, no, now that you mentioned it, we'll just do it now. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that like as last year we vote to spend the money
Yeah.
because it's Concom money. So does anybody have any questions or about spending, what was it, how much is
350.
350 to
I,
do the
can I just
Poverty
get
Mountain?
a super high level overview of what that is? I don't know what that is.
Mhm. Scott, you can give
I
us the
should
overview.
of the monitoring for that.
Well, yeah, what it is, what are we paying for?
Yeah, so every year we have a number of conservation restrictions that are assigned to Concom to oversee. So like Peach Orchard, we walk those every year to make sure that the provisions outlined in those restrictions are being adhered to, and there's not a lot of it is just to make sure there's not damage to vegetation or building or other things that are taking place. And what we have tried to do, just kind of as an overview, is as we take these in, like we just took in um, a new conservation restriction this past year, we try to also ensure that there's money to hire others to do some of that monitoring for us because it does become quite a lot. Um, the one that we're talking about here, it is a pretty large parcel. I don't remember the number of acres off the top of my head, but it's a bigger piece and has some very steep places to it. So it's a lot of up and down. And we've contracted with Charlie in the past to do it. He walks the whole property. He writes up a report and gives it to us. He has done, I think, a good job in the past. identified future like problems. Like he saw one of the sides of the parcel that there were trees that were marked for cutting. And wrote that up in his report, and we were able to reach out to the landowner and kind of take care of that preemptively, so there wasn't a problem later on. It is important to do these inspections every year, but it does cost us money to do it. I don't know if that was a good overview or not.
Seems good, yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah. Anyways, I'm happy to answer any other questions.
No, that's great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Scott. All right, if there aren't any other questions, but we're looking for a vote to contract with Charlie Eisman to do the annual CR monitoring for, is it called Poverty Mountain? No, I forget the name of that conservation area.
Sumner Mountain.
What mountain?
Sumner Mountain.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Sumner Mountain.
That's
Yeah.
like I could see it from my window.
Yes, so a vote to contract with Charlie Eisman to do the annual CR monitoring for Sumner Mountain.
I'd like to make a motion that we vote to approve the amount discussed in the monitoring.
Great. Second?
Second.
All right. Douglas,
Aye.
McDuffie,
Aye.
Fox,
Aye.
Khan,
Aye.
and Wilson. Great. So now we can just go ahead and contract with them and get them out there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
The only other items I had for land management, one were the regs. I assume we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the agenda.
And then maybe new business. I did want to talk, I think it's with you, Beth, about approaching Amherst to do some of the mowing on one of the parcels that we manage. It's that field parcel next to Haskins Meadows, which is owned or managed by the Amherst Concom. And in the past, I think they've done the mowing on that field. I've been out there. It's starting to grow up in trees. And so if we wanted to keep it as a field, I think we would need to get a brush hog out there at some point this year. So I just wanted to, I think they mow the fields there at Haskins periodically. So is there someone that would be good to talk to in Amherst about that?
Yeah, I think last year, you and I reached out to the conservation land manager. I can't remember how he responded. I feel like they don't do it every year. He has sort of a schedule as to when he gets out there. He
Yeah.
definitely responded to us when we
Did he? Okay.
emailed him, but I can't remember what he said. So, but his name's Brad Bordewick, and he's the land manager for the conservation land in Amherst.
How do you spell his last name?
Bordewick, Bordewick.
Forward.
I know I emailed him. I think I CC'd you on it, but I remember talking to him about it.
Okay. I don't have that in my email. Not to say maybe I deleted it or something, but if I know we've talked about it before,
Yeah.
but do you want me to reach out to him again, or do you want to, or how did you want to proceed?
I can try. I can email him and CC you.
Okay, sounds good.
Maybe I texted him. I'm just looking at my texts. Yep. Yep. I asked him if there was any kind of agreement, and he said he said, no, there's nothing in writing. I like to keep it simple. Then I asked how often they mow it. And he said as often as we can get out there, the goal is once a year. And that was last year.
Okay.
So we can reach
Well,
out to him again and see if
Yeah.
he's really planning on getting out there this year. That would be really good.
Yeah, it's dry right now, and I just figure as the fall goes on, is typically I'm guessing when they would do it after the nesting season and all that. So, yeah, if there's anything I can do to help with that, just let me know. But that's all I had for land management. So, end of report.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right. So next is number 5 is ratify emergency cert for the highway department for a culvert on Pratt Corner Road, but we haven't issued that emergency cert yet because they haven't quite figured out what they're going to do at this point. So hopefully that's coming soon. I've been communicating with highway and just said, let me know when you decide what you want to do at that spot. It's a corrugated metal. I think it's a 12-inch that got hit by a plow. So it's mangled and sharp edges are sticking up on the right by the road there. So they have cones out. And they want to replace it. So, and I did actually suggest that they upsize, part of why he hasn't figured out what he wants to do yet. But I did suggest that they went more with like an 18-inch because it seems to carry a bit of water. So we'll see where that goes. The next is ratify an emergency cert for a hazard tree at 16 Gaslight Lane. And we did issue that one. And I can bring it up quickly if you guys want to see. Hey, Mateo, can you let me share?
I can. Give me a second because once again, Zoom has changed where these things are located, apparently. So
Always improving.
yeah, I'm just going to make you a co-host and then you should be able to share when I do that.
Okay.
Do you see it now?
Nope.
Yep, it's letting me share. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the emergency cert. The homeowner got in touch, sent pictures. There was a red maple that had already fell and it was over the lake. And it was in an area where people both boat and swim. So she was very concerned sort of about people's safety going around this large tree. So it definitely seemed like an emergency situation. And she had a contractor, Woodsmith Forestry, who she had, and this is what we allowed them to do. Cut the tree at the base, and remove it from the resource area and cut it into pieces and also chip, but none of the, I made sure she understood that all the chipped wood and everything couldn't go in the resource area, needed to go in an upgradient area. Right, and then they could use, let's see, the tree should be removed from the water and cut into pieces using a winch attached to a tractor to pull the pieces out. The tractor shall be located upgrading of the bank, brush should be chipped and wood cut into logs. So that's really what we're allowing them to do. And then under the conditions, I said the stump must remain in place. No heavy equipment is allowed on the bank, and any wood chips must be placed in an upland location, not in the lake or on its bank. That was that. Anybody have any concerns or questions?
It looks very complete and solid to me.
Okay. Stop sharing then. All right, good. No questions. Then we just need a vote to ratify the emergency cert for 16 Gaslight Lane.
I'd like to move that we ratify the order.
Great.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Douglas,
Aye.
Khan,
Aye.
Fox,
Aye.
and McDuffie,
Aye.
and Wilson. Aye. All right, great. All right, so next is the draft regulations. Scott,
Yeah.
where are we at?
Let's see. Well, we had all reviewed a version of the regs, and then we had circulated a copy of those to our chief of police and to town council. The chief wrote back, and he and town council both suggested in addition to the motorized vehicles, adding an exception for first responders and mobility impaired assistance drivers, or assistance vehicles. And so we did, I made that change. Town council have a number of other changes that were suggested, and maybe it would be easier just to kind of walk through those change by change. So let me see if I can I do this? Let's see.
God, I just made you a co-host as well, so you should be able to share.
Wait.
Eventually, you will all be co-hosts.
Great.
It's really the highlight of my day. Ooh, here we go. Let's see if I can. So the first, I'm reading her email, and then I have the changes. So this is the document. This was all emailed to you all here over the weekend. The Let's see, town council said under section 3, permitted uses, I recommend adding a catch-all provision that covers the many different CRs, state grant provisions, and other relevant documents for conservation land, yada, yada, yada. And she has some suggested language for section 3. So let me go down there. And she had this, any other use that might be specifically noted on recorded conservation restriction documents, state grant provisions, or other relevant documents. So these are under the allowed permitted uses that we would allow anything that's specifically noted in the conservation restrictions. So maybe I'll pause after each one of these and see if there's any discussion on any of them. Any thoughts on that?
Like Scott, can you think of an example that might be on the on a restriction document?
Yeah, I mean, there could be maybe it was a grant specifically for a boat ramp or something
Okay.
to, to operate on a conservation restriction area. So we would allow that. Or um, these aren't owned by us, but like we have CRs and things that allow for agriculture or other things. So there could be like um, things like that, trails, other restrictions, rights of way that crossed our property, so things like that.
Okay.
So I thought that was a good addition.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I think that's important so that we don't say that something can't be allowed when actually under the CR that happened to be written for that particular property, that is
Yeah.
allowed, or maybe it's not allowed, so makes it a little challenging because, somebody looks at this who just wants to go on a piece of property and then they don't actually have the CR. So then they they don't know what the restrictions are, but I think it's definitely important to have it in there.
All right. Any other comments on this one? All right, moving on. Prohibited uses, motorized vehicles. This is the one I referred to before. So, town council and the chief suggested this language, except for mobility impaired assistance vehicles and first responder vehicles. So, allowing vehicles for that. Any comments on that? All right. Next was public conduct. Second bullet should read disorderly or unsafe behavior or other misconduct. So I think, where did I have that? Right here. So I just put that language in instead of the disorderly or unsafe behavior. Just added the or other misconduct. Any comments on that? All right, pretty easy. Moving on. Public let's see, abandonment or storage of personal property. So here was a question. She said, does the town beach even exist any longer? Not sure people will know where this area is without another description. Also, I believe people leave trailers for boats, autos near the town beach at the public boat ramp for the day. Should this be addressed? So I put it down. I don't know. I mean, I know there's signage there that calls this Elliott Park. I don't know what the the best denoter is. I think the only reason I'm calling it out here is because there is presently, or there have been people leaving watercraft and other things there and trash and other things. So, and we were asked to address it. So I replaced Town Beach with Elliott Park or elsewhere on the state Lake Wyola Conservation Area without permission. So I think we could. I don't know if there's anything more to that, but I'll.
Can you
Do
refer
we-
to it? Oh, sorry, Beth.
Oh, you go ahead.
Can you refer to it as Randall Road? Because it is a road. The parking area at at the bottom of Randall Road, are I think people do know where Elliott Park or even Elliott Park parking area. But it is Randall. It does have a name. You know what I mean?
I do. Well, I'm kind of wondering to address that. I think there are two things, and she did mention both of them. I don't. I wasn't thinking that people parking boat trailers next to the state boat launch was an issue that we wanted to try to restrict here under this section. And that's like where the Randall Road comes down, right to the boat launch there. The part that I'm talking about is as you go into up that trail, past the new trash cans that were put out there and to the gazebo, where there's that little sandy beach and a fire pit. That's in the woods there. That's where people
Right.
are hauling watercraft in there. And
Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
think that's what I'm trying to describe, that area.
Do we want to change it to say placement, storage, abandonment, versus including boats and watercraft on conservation lands, especially Elliott Park? Because at first I thought, well, why don't we just end it at on conservation lands? So it's like all conservation lands, you can't do those things. But we could, if we want to specifically call out that area, we could say something like especially.
Or including.
Yeah, including's good.
Including Elliott Park or elsewhere on the Lake Wyola Conservation Area. Or I could just say on any conservation area, right?
Yeah, but you're kind of calling it out because you already said on conservation lands, including, I like including Elliott Park or elsewhere on the Lake Wyola Conservation Area.
Okay.
So it sort of calls it out a little bit, but it's also saying that it could be anywhere because the top of the lake conservation area, people are supposed to be able to kayak up there, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
maybe somebody might think, oh, can't I just leave my kayak here at top of the
myself
lake?
there. Okay. So is having it as it's worded here good, or any other suggested edits?
I think that's good.
All right. Then we'll move on. Section 6, enforcement. Um, she had these changes for penalties, so I won't read them through, but it was like you had to have the amounts, so, and you could change them. This is what she suggested, so I just put that in there. Um, and then she had this language around the violations may be noticed by non-criminal disposition, so I added that. So any thoughts on violation or penalties? And then dogs and other domestic animals. She said, "What other domestic animals are you talking about?" And like, honestly, it is really specific to dogs. There aren't a lot of emu walking at this point in time, so I think I just took out the other domestic animals part.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um, and that's all. I think those were all the changes that she had. If the commissioners are good with this, I think we have a good uh, final draft that's been reviewed by the commission and by the town's attorney. So I'm not sure what the next step is for moving forward with them, but I think we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think if everybody likes what they're looking at here, we can actually vote on it
Yeah, I think
tonight.
these changes were very well thought out, and I like the way they're written in. So definitely, um, if everybody's set, I think it would be worth going to a vote.
Mateo, do you have something to say about our voting?
Mass General Law 30A does say that because there are fines being imposed in these regulations, there needs to be a public hearing. And we need a 21-day notice before that hearing happens. So, I mean, at this point, I suppose the commission could vote to schedule the hearing and present these as the version being offered to the public for comment. But that would happen before it gets approved.
Yeah, no, let's just vote that we uh approve or we agree on the regulations and that we're voting to schedule a public hearing. So 21 days, our next meeting is only like 14 days, right?
14 days, yeah. So if we get it posted in time, the earliest that um, that the hearing could be held would be at the September 10th meeting.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's vote that we have a final draft of our conservation, what do we want to call them? Regulations, conservation area regulations. Is that really what they are? Conservation area regulations. That we agree on this version of the conservation area regulations, and we'd like to schedule a public hearing for September 10th. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think if I act quickly, if I get it out to the paper tomorrow, probably we can make that 21-day deadline. The Labor Day holiday makes things a little wonky with the papers, but I think we'll be okay.
All right. Well, if there's any issue, let us know because I mean, if there's not really a rush. We could do it on the 24th also. If that gives you more time.
I mean, that we would definitely be able to have it ready for the 24th. That would definitely fall within the 21 days window. So it's up to the commission what you'd like to do. Usually the papers can get it in within a few days, so
Mhm.
we could be safe and just shoot for the 24th.
Yeah, is that okay with everyone? Scott, is that all right with you?
Yep.
All right. So a motion to, I don't know, to call this our final version of the conservation area regulations and to schedule a public hearing for September 24th.
Oh, question. I'm sorry. The community preservation material, is that at the same time as Concom on the 24th?
It is, yep.
Um, I don't know if that matters for the hearing or not, but I'm not sure where I need to be.
I mean, we can aim for the 10th. Let's aim for the 10th, and if the newspaper says they can't do it, then we can, push it to the first meeting in October, I suppose.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sorry about that. I just pulled it up on my calendar and saw I had to be at two places at once.
Me too.
Yep. Well, remember, the Concom is always your priority.
Right, right. You hear that, Mateo?
Yep.
The chair spoke.
Would this be at
Funny.
7:15? What time would the hearing start?
Yeah, 7:15 is fine to put on the agenda. That's good. All right, so let's start that over. Motion, looking for a motion that we agree that this is our final version of our conservation area regulations and that we're gonna have a public hearing on September 10th at 7:15.
So moved.
All right. All right. Khan,
Aye.
Douglas,
Aye.
Fox,
Aye.
and McDuffie,
Aye.
and Wilson. Aye. Great. Thank you so much, Scott. That was great. That was very efficient. And I think they're good regulations.
I'll send Mateo. Do you want me to send you kind of a clean copy with that, or what?
Yeah, if you could send me a clean copy, I can put that up on the Concom website, and then in the notice, I can let people know that if they're looking for that text, that's where they'll find it.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. I guess next would be thinking about if at some of our conservation areas we want to put any kind of signage up that's got sort of rules and things. But again, probably not all of them, but maybe ones where there's problems. You
Yeah.
know?
Maybe I think Southbrook, since we're going to be doing the trails and putting up signs anyways, that would probably make the most sense. And we had some signage there before because we had vehicle use, and I think all those signs are gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. We have work cut out for us. Okay, next is unanticipated business, and Bob was going to tell us a little bit about the committee, sedimentation committee.
Yes, thank you. So all commission members except for Beth and Mateo, can you tell me what the SMIC, the SMIC committee is, what that stands for? I had to look it up myself. So that's the Stormwater Mitigation Implementation Committee, of which I am your representative on, and we've had meetings on the June 25th and August 11th, and I'll just kind of give you a summarize because I think we will be having interplay with them. As we all know, there's been sediment issues related to the Lake Wyola, and this task or this group committee is looking for professional staff to GZA to look at areas which are of special concern. And Beth, I don't know if you could put up that map, but they identified a number of different areas throughout town, and we were allowed to select 10 because that's what we were contracted for. We said, you know what, we really want to put Russell in there too because that has a lot of sediment as well. So we ran that by GZA. So we're doing 11 areas of special interest related to sediment in the lake. And we may or may not have a map coming up. And just to kind of summarize the different things that we do um, on this committee, we're looking at erosion control education program. We had done some really cool stuff with FERCog in our previous committee, where we invite people from the community and take a look at different things. FERCog has an amazing sedimentation table where water courses through this sand, and you can actually see what erosion controls work and which ones don't. So we want to try and set that up, perhaps at the library, perhaps at the school. Um, these are the areas that we were looking at, and we have 11 of those areas that have been that will be taken a larger look at. You can see the watershed is the larger part of the map, and then the specific sites are closer. Um, One thing that committees like this do, and I'm sure you found this too, Scott, at your experience, that you initially have a group study the issue, and then from that come recommendations from an engineering firm like GZA, and then you apply for funding once you've got things pinpointed. So that is a kind of a priority of our group. Um, and we'll be working with FERCog on that. Now, there's one thing I wanted to run by the committee, the commission, I should say, is part of our charge from the select board was to do water quality testing. And in our last meeting, we said, well, that could mean a lot of things. It could be nutrients in the water. It could be water clarity. It could be uh, uh, nutrient from fertilizers, etc. So it could be dissolved oxygen. Um, so I'm asking you, commissioners, if there was a parameter of water quality testing, what do you think would be the most important?
Well, I think E. coli is probably,
Right.
that's why they end up closing the beach. Um, are you guys thinking of sampling the actual lake for these things, or are you thinking of doing like stormwater outfalls to see where it's coming from?
Right, yet to be determined. My thought is probably um, the second is doing a set of surveys that could possibly pinpoint contamination, whether it's sediment or fertilizer or E. coli in different areas. But I just wanted to get your feedback, and as I'm reporting to you, anything I hear from the Concom related to this, I'd like to report back to the to SMIC SMIC.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I just not promoting myself or anything, but that's exactly what I do in the town of Amherst. I sample stormwater. I say, um, we're doing a whole lot of sampling with the Fort River right now. So when you say what to sample for, like also total suspended solids is huge because often, just that's the sedimentation, but often E. coli sits and attaches itself to sediment. So if you've got areas that have a lot of like a outfall that has a lot of sediment coming in, that can also be a source of the E. coli. But also, like you're saying, nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen sampling is always good. So if you guys, if anyone wants to talk more about it, I'm happy to talk about a lot of the stuff we're doing in Amherst.
I warn you, we may rope you into our next meeting, Beth. Um,
Yeah.
those, those criteria you mentioned, I think are important, and that was an excellent suggestion. Um, Kind of lastly, we talked about staggering our terms. I, as the representative, will have a 2-year term. Another person will have a 3-year term, and others will have one, so that once this committee starts rolling, we won't lose everybody each year. So I think that's a fairly common thing with Sun and Shutesbury and other towns. Um, and that concludes my report of SMIC. If you have any questions or anything you'd like me to take back to the committee, I'm happy to do so. We're meeting roughly about once a month.
I was just curious looking at the map, it definitely has the areas prioritized. Um, and so when you talk about projects, I'm assuming you're gonna look for projects to start off in the blue areas, right? The ones that
That's
are
right.
sort of, yeah, that's very interesting. And is GZA done with their studying, or are
No,
they?
no, things are still in their infancy. Yeah. So we
Okay,
kind of they what we've simply decided so far is what areas will be looked at, and then they will take a look at each of those, what possible improvements could be made, things along those lines.
great. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. And I know that, we end up getting projects like that 36 South Laurel that have a lot of stormwater involved with them. And I'm glad, to have you as sort of the overlap between, because I'm sure that committee will also will be interested when we get projects like that, that come to us where there's stormwater things involved.
Agreed. Yeah.
Bob, could you send that to by email or text or
Yeah, you know what, Mateo, if it's okay with you, I'll send that to you to distribute to the commission members.
Yep, certainly.
Okay, solid. Thank you.
Great. That's all really great stuff. I love having a committee that's focusing so much on the lake and all the issues that have to that are going on there. It's our number one resource here in Tewksbury,
Good. Huh.
don't you think? All right. Does anyone else have any other unanticipated business? Anything? Scott?
I had one thing, maybe just to raise as an issue. I saw on one of the web forums here in town, I think it was next door, someone was raising concerns about the dirt roads in town and sedimentation and after all the rains. And I just noticed here on the dirt part of Wendell, the town did a great job trying to fix up that road after all the rain and hauled a bunch more stuff and regraded it. But it seems like this is an ongoing thing where, we're getting these big flashy rains. I think, with climate change, I think we're going to continue to see more and more of those. And it's costing the town a lot of money to do it, to kind of fight this. And all of that sediment, I mean, it's dump trucks worth of stuff, is ending up in Southbrook, even though they try to do a good job of creating sediment basins. I mean, it really is kind of an uphill battle. And I just wanted to see if there might be some grants or other things. Like, I do think that there's a way to design a better passage for the water to flow down some of these roads. There aren't that many in town. It's probably like Pratt Corner, Wendell,
Montague.
Montague,
Montague.
right where it's steep and ruts out. And
Mhm.
it's because the water flows down the road because there's no other place for it to go.
No,
Right.
And
it's a
I think
disaster.
it could be something that, maybe there's a way we could help with money to get an engineering study or maybe, and then to get it built and solve it for, a longer period of time. So I just wanted to raise that. It has a Concom nexus to it because of the water quality, but it's really more of a town thing. And so, anyways, I just wanted to
Yeah,
bring it up here
yeah,
to everyone.
absolutely. Scott, that is exactly the direction that this committee is looking to do. Uh, um, establish the problem or document the problem, establish the need, and then apply for grants. For example, like an MVP comes to mind as a perfect grant that might do a matching project for roadway improvements or grading or something, whatever it might be. But the idea is to be on that path and have each successive uh, year build toward a solution, designing a project, and then paying for it. So definitely thinking the same parallel means.
Yeah, I mean, that is the approach. Um, and I do know that FERCog and PVPC, there was a PVPC, I think it was a 319 grant that they got where it was all about educating a whole lot of towns in Western Mass about dirt road maintenance. And they did come, who came on site visits with me with that? They did a whole, I should find these documents. They did a report and they met with our highway department, and did some of this sort of education on how the best ways are to maintain dirt roads in terms of, uh, basically for the environment. And that was, I don't know, 2 years ago or so. Um, so that was sort of a start, of like some ideas about how to take care of drainage and how to even do grading and how to all that. And it was a big grant that I think PVPC, I think, is who got it. And I can look back at that kind of stuff and share it with you guys. Because that was sort of a start as to, because the town's not going to pave these roads, it's more figuring out what are the best methods for maintaining them. Although what Bob's saying too, and what I think um, might come out of some of that stuff that we were given, but maybe be completely different, is installing culverts and you finding specific projects that we know would really help the road at a particular location, and applying for grant money, to put, because I think there's, especially on Dirt Wendell, there are areas where there's no culvert at all, and there really should be. There's no cross culvert, and so then the water's just going along the sides, where really if you stuck a cross culvert in there, you could get it off of the road before it picks up a lot of sediment. Um, have you guys gone on Dudleyville Road lately? Montague, like when Montague turns to Dudleyville, yeah, and goes down to the co-op. Leverett
Oh, yeah.
put in, I don't even know how many cross culverts, brand new cross culverts. I don't know, there's like 10. It was last year and they're finishing up right now. On one side of the road, they put in a catch basin and then they put a cross culvert pipe underneath, all to basically just dry the road out. One, so the water's not coming down the side and picking up sediment and causing contamination, but also because that road would get so squishy and soft. And the whole idea there, I think it's really to also get some of that water lower so that the top of the road stays solid and doesn't get destroyed. So
Yeah.
all kinds of ideas, I guess, and it is really finding ideas and then applying for grants to go in and pick away like at different locations. Like, okay, we're going to work on this location. Now we're going to work on this road or whatever. So, yeah,
Well, if there's a
that's
good next step to help, and I don't know if it's a conversation with the highway department to see what their interest is in looking at this or trying to get some help or engineering assistance and or money to do it. And I'm guessing all these roads, they all have problems, but my guess is the solutions, maybe they're the same, but they could be different too.
oh yeah.
I think like the at least the roads here, like the on Wendell, it is about where the water flows and trying to get the water to flow not down the road itself, because it just is eroding the road out, and it's creating a lot of sediment issues for the resource areas. But yeah, it sounds like it's been looked at before. I just didn't know if there's something more we could do to help.
It's been started, you know what I mean? But I think it takes people, and groups like the group that Bob is in, to pick away at particular real projects where you're going in and actually doing something. Um, and that's what we should keep doing that. So you're right. I should dig up that report and then we can talk with DPW a little bit more about some locations, and because DPW can apply for grants, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, yeah, if you can find that, then maybe we could reach out and just have a conversation with them and see if what their interest is and what they think in terms of where the priorities would be in town to look at some of that. Because I'm sure they have a lot better things to do than to keep fixing and refixing all the roads. So, you know, it's a forever job right now.
Yeah. That's, you know, the spot on Wendell that's an actual spring in the side of the road. I
Yeah.
know that's been talked about, and what should we do? And like somebody
Yeah.
should come up with something and apply for a grant.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, get the
it's funny
water
because
out.
it's so dry right now. It's not running. It's like the first time that it hasn't been running,
Oh, wow.
or not running very often. But even though that's not running, with all the flashy rains we got, it just totally washed out, you know, the road. And I think they're trying to figure out what to do with it. But
All right, well, we'll work on all of that. Um, all right. Oh, Mayor, were you trying to say anything?
I
Can't
don't
hear.
know. I have such bad signal. Wasn't there where they
We,
work on
I,
the
I,
roads?
I can't understand what you're saying. You're coming in and out. Maybe she'll come back. Want to try again, Mayor? Mm. I guess, Mayor, if you can hear us, if you want to email or text your question, we
Can
can,
you? I'm off screen. Maybe you can hear me off screen. Um,
yes, now we can
uh,
hear you.
um, wasn't there wasn't there a FERCog group that was coming through to work with the DPW on just that issue?
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning. Yeah, they got
Oh,
PVPC and
okay.
FERCog. They got a big grant to do
Okay.
dirt road education for
Okay.
a lot of towns in Western Mass. I think they're done now though. But
Okay.
out of that came, you know, they met with DPW, but they also produced documents and um gave gave them to DPW. And I know we did one site visit with all of that with that. But I can find that stuff.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Ugh, gosh, where is my? Where'd it go? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
We can hear you.
you clear that.
Okay. I can't. I just can't see anything. Okay. Okay.
All right. And that's it. All right. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'd like,
So moved.
I will second Mayor's motion.
All right. Khan,
Hi.
Fox,
Aye.
McDuffie,
Aye.
Douglas,
Aye.
and Wilson. Aye. All right. Great. Everybody have a good night. See you in a few weeks. I guess see you at a site visit first, right? See you at some of those site visits.
Yep.
All right. Good
Have a good
night.
night.
Thanks, everybody.